Close your eyes and picture this. You are looking out the window shortly after it rained. The air is humid and feels heavy. The sky is dark, full of clouds. There's a slight breeze through the window, making you rather chilly, but the smell of the rain engulfs you. You notice a bird sitting on a tree, a red cardinal, and you stare directly at it. Really focus on the bird. Do you see the image in your head? Go ahead and open your eyes. Now, I'm going to walk you through a series of images that you may have seen, and I would just like you to take a mental note of the one that most closely resembles what you saw. The first, a very vivid image of a bird, very lifelike, as if you were really looking out that window. The next, more of a cartoon sketch, but still very detailed, or maybe all you were able to see was the red outline. Maybe you couldn't even see the color red. Maybe your outline was black and white. And for the next slide, that black screen, that is what I saw. That's because I have aphantasia. Aphantasia is a condition in which one has the inability to construct a mental image, meaning they can't picture anything. Their mind's eye is blind. If I were to ask somebody without aphantasia to picture something, whether it be that scene from earlier, or even something as simple as the face of their favorite person, they would more than likely be able to see it, as if it was really there, in front of them. But for myself, and for others with aphantasia, we are unable to see this. We can't picture anything. All we see is darkness. Now, for those of you who have never heard of aphantasia before this moment, it may be difficult to conceptualize. So here's a parallel. Color blindness. Some people are able to see and differentiate every color, and others simply can't. Whereas with aphantasia, some people are able to picture things in their mind, and others simply can't. And this is what I have experienced for my entire life. I've never known anything different. In fact, it wasn't even until about a year ago when I first discovered that aphantasia was even a thing. An old friend of mine asked me if I thought in words or in pictures. I considered this for a moment before saying, I think in words. Doesn't everybody? To my surprise, my friend confided in me that he was able to think in pictures, and he had assumed that everybody else did as well. Before this moment, neither of us considered any alternative. And I mean, why would we? If everyone's heart beats and our bodies function so similarly, why would our brains be so different? I had known previously that my friend could recall details about my appearance, from the color of my ponytail that day to the pattern of my socks. He would even notice and recall details about my demeanor or my body language, but I was always so confused. How was he able to recall these things so effortlessly, so vividly? What was wrong with me that I couldn't? Thankfully, we had a conversation about it, and I learned that my friend was able to replay most conversations or interactions from his day, as if they were on a movie screen in front of him. I, on the other hand, was unable to do this. Because he was able to do it, he remembered many small details from all these interactions. But because I couldn't, I could not remember these small details, and I had attributed this as me simply having a terrible memory. And while that may still be true, aphantasia does impact my autobiographical memory, my memory of my own experiences. While I am still able to recall some conversations, some interactions from my day, most of them, along with important details from them, are forgotten. And this, without context, hurt my friend. He was confused. He expected others to remember these details if they truly cared. And when I was unable to do this, he would question my intentions. How would you feel if someone you truly loved, truly cared for, began to question if you really felt those feelings? That is what happened to me with my friend. He was deeply hurt because he did not realize that my behavior was a reflection of how my mind worked with aphantasia and that my struggles with memory were out of my control. But this inconvenience that I caused my friend pales in comparison to the fear I felt living my own life. Yes, I forgot something that was important to him, but I'm also forgetting my own life as I am living it. I go through my life knowing that a large majority of the things I am experiencing in the present moment will be forgotten because of aphantasia, because I cannot simply revisit or replay a memory, a moment, an experience. I forget them. And truthfully, it is terrifying. Thankfully, after discovering aphantasia and gaining a better understanding of myself, it validated to both myself and to my friend that my behavior is not a direct reflection of my character or my intentions, but that it is greatly impacted by how my mind is wired. I try my best to explain aphantasia to others in the different contexts it comes up. Most people tend to be pretty surprised when they find out that no, I cannot simply recall a diagram during an exam, and no, I have no idea what your outfit was like earlier this week. Remembering these details doesn't come naturally to me, and try as I might, I still likely won't. While you can work on improving your memory, there is no way to train your brain to be able to recall all the small details of a person, place, or scenario. It is important to me to explain this to others, because this is what allows me to feel understood. Yet nothing compares to the understanding I felt when I first discovered what aphantasia was. I was so relieved. I finally knew I was never a terrible, incompetent person. I was seeing the world through a different perspective than most, one that didn't include mental imagery, and I was okay with that. I finally knew the reason behind my behaviors, behind why I struggled with memory. It wasn't that I wasn't trying. It wasn't that I was inconsiderate. I was unable to picture things. That is why. My mind is predisposed to having a worse memory of visual stimuli. So forgetting things was bound to happen. And now when they do, I am able to move on and forgive myself, knowing that I tried my best. After learning about this and how my own behavior was impacted, I began to consider this when it came to others. There are so many conditions or circumstances that impact one's behavior to the point that it will never be a direct reflection of their thoughts, of their intentions, of their feelings, of their motivations. It is greatly impacted by their mind, by outside circumstances. For example, somebody with autism may avoid eye contact because it makes them uncomfortable. Somebody with ADHD may be fidgeting while you're talking because that is what helps them focus. Somebody with depression may cancel plans at the last minute, not because they don't want to see you, but because they can't get out of bed. For myself, somebody with aphantasia, you may show me something that is incredibly important to you, and I will try my best to remember it, but I may still forget. If you only look at this as though I failed, as though I simply was not trying, I did not care enough, you may assume I am inconsiderate or that I am rude. You would completely disregard all the effort that I put towards remembering something that was important to you. And when this happens, my identity, my character is invalidated, along with who I am as a person who is out there trying her best. And I am sure that many of you out here today can relate to these feelings that I am experiencing. It is so incredibly common to feel misunderstood. And it is also incredibly common to misunderstand the actions of others by not considering outside factors and their influence on one's behavior. One's behavior can never perfectly mirror their intentions or their character. What would the world look like if everybody considered this when looking at the actions of others? Imagine it, in whatever way you can.